Walking the runway is every new model's dream. It's glamorous, prestigious, but also intimidating. Don't worry, I'm Kelly Kickham with Model Mayhem, and today I'm going to help teach you how to strut your stuff on the runway. To help us out today, we brought in Los Angeles runway model Sarah, known as Twiglet on Model Mayhem. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Let's talk a little bit about the business of runway modeling.
There's no one correct way to do runway. Every single designer that you walk for and every single garment that you wear is going to be completely different and require something different of you. But there are some basics that you can use to build a foundation for your very own runway walk.
Okay, so if you're building your runway walk, let's start at the beginning. How should you stand with your posture?
Well, first of all, you're going to want to stand tall. It doesn't matter whether you're 5'7" or 6'2". You're going to want to look tall and confident as you're walking down the runway. You're also going to want to make sure that you're not slouching in any way. You're going to want to pull your shoulders back because that's going to help you keep that tall posture. You're also going to want to keep your chin up and facing straight forward, even though you might be tempted to look at the ground as you're walking, or maybe there's photographers down there and you think that you should maybe look at them. It looks so much better in the end images at the end of the runway if you just stay confident and keep facing forward.
What about your arms? What should you do with your arms when you're walking down the runway?
It's very important to remember to just be natural still while you're on the runway. Of course, it's not 100% natural, but you want to make sure that you're breathing and that you're not tensing up because that's going to start to mess up your posture. So you're going to want to generally walk, moving your arms naturally, but not necessarily swinging them crazy or, keeping them stiff by your sides.
What about your feet? I know that some models do a crossover walk where they cross their feet and some keep them side by side. Is there a correct way?
There's not necessarily one correct way. The reason that models do that is because as you're walking down the runway, it looks better both for the garment and for your legs if you're walking either in a straight line or actually crisscrossing your feet because it closes the space that's in between your legs because it's unflattering, especially for people that are on runways down below you.
So what about when you get to that scariest part of the runway and you're at the end and all the photographers are there? What do you recommend as far as posing and turning?
First of all, you're going to want to make sure that you're stopping in a pose that, one, also looks attractive for your body, but also looks attractive for the garment. In general, you just want to make sure that you're coming to a nice, clean stop and that your turns are going to be fluid.
So what can you do to kind of help lead yourself around, let's say if you're in something complicated?
A lot of times, if you're wearing something more complicated, let's say that has a train, instead of doing what you would normally do with say a pivot turn where you're just shifting on your feet from side to side or to turn around all the way, you're going to want to do more of maybe a semicircle so that the train can follow you, but everybody's still getting that full-on view and the full turn of the garment.
All right, so you say that every runway is different and every designer is different. Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips as far as dealing with those individual designers and how to make each runway as good as you can?
You need to be flexible, but you also need to be yourself. And there is a way to find that balance to where you can still have your individual style and your individual walk and comfort, but also make your designers happy.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah.
No problem.
And now with Sarah's help, you can get out there and rock that runway like a pro. Leave any questions or comments you have below, and don't forget to subscribe because what's life without a little mayhem?